So we notice that as we're in Virasana, we have an opportunity to separate the heels slightly and allow the internal rotation, as I mentioned. Let's use that for a moment. We'll just take a moment to sort of move back and forward. And you're going to notice the IT band, and you're going to notice the stretch of your quads, right? We're hinging in our hips here. If you're feeling any tension in your knee and you're not using your block, please use it. If you're feeling tension in your knee and you're on a block, please elevate it to the next level, right? So move it sideways. And then as you come back to center, we'll just lean from side to side. So we're going to notice a little pressure on the calves and the shin bones. And you might even feel that massage of your legs into your hamstrings. And once you come back to the center of that pose, really looking for the balance here, we're going to make sure that the pelvis is neutral. So we want to root the sits bones down into your block. And then we'll take a nice big breath and we'll reach the hands up overhead. And really start thinking about the bottom of your rib cage elevating. So we want to elevate from the floating ribs. And maybe for now, you're spreading the fingers. And you can feel your palms reaching back. So already we're starting to emphasize the opening through the front of the arm. And you might feel the ability to elevate your scapula, right? So your shoulder blades and shoulder plates can elevate. And then joining your palms, interlace your fingers, turn your hands inside out. We're reaching up still. If you can, elevate your gaze, stretching the palms and really reaching the humerus bone, your shoulder bone, towards the sky. And then tuck your chin, but feel the pinky side of the hand reaching back, so we're really opening up through the front of the shoulders again here. Try and draw upward, toning the abdomen. And then as you release your hands down, you can just relax your shoulders. And we'll take that chin down towards the collarbone. And then take it up and back. Reaching the hands up overhead. Interlace your fingers. Place your hands underneath your chin as you rest your chin on your knuckles. All right, and then we're going to inhale. Take your head back. Squeeze your elbows. Exhale, chin down. Again, inhale, head up and back, squeeze. Exhale, chin down. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Once more, inhale. And exhale. Taking 3 more rounds on your own. And the last time that you squeeze your elbows together, reach your hands up to the sky. And then release your arms and tuck your chin. Join your palms, reaching forward and up. Exhale, elbows down. And then rising to the tops of the knees, reach up. And exhale, elbows down. And again, reaching. And exhale, elbows down. As you release your left hand, we're going to reach with the right hand and tip ourselves over for a lateral stretch. So right hand is reaching, left hand is reaching towards the earth. And feel that right palm pushing you over again. We really want to feel that lateral stretch along the side body. And then inhale back up. Exhale, releasing your right hand down, pressing your left hand over, reaching towards the earth with your fingertips, but keep your quads moving forward. And really breathe into the left side body. And then inhale, both hands reach up. And exhale, elbows down. As you sit, reach your hands forward and up. Exhale, elbows down. Take a gentle twist to the right side of the body, breathing there. And then twisting to the left side of your body, breathing there. And as you come back to center, we're just going to reach our left hand over to the side. Rise up and stretch your right leg out. We're taking ourselves to the instep and then taking your left hand, press into the earth, and right arm is in line with your ear. Good, so if you're not familiar with the movement of the shoulder, we're going to move that back. We always move down so that we're in line and in the movement of the shoulder socket, and then stretch. From here, if available, turn your belly up and gaze towards your right palm. And then you're hinging in your hips. We can bring the right knee back in. We're going to rise up to the tops of the knees, reach the sky. And exhale as you come down. Place your right palm stepping out with your left foot, reaching in line with that ear. And again, if you need to readjust, reach back, reach down, keeping that in line, maybe rotating rib cage and belly upward. And hinge forward and invite your left knee back in. Make your way back to the tops of the knees, modified Ustrasana. As you sweep your hands back, interlace your fingers and open up your shoulders, drawing the heart and sternum forward. So we're still looking for the toning of the belly. Forward movement comes from the quads. Maybe elevate your gaze. Feel the shoulders down, away from your ears. Breathe the breath in a way that keeps the length of your low back. So tugging upward. And then arms reach. Exhale, elbows down. Let's come back to our prop or to your heels. Inhale, arms reach up again. And exhale, we're going to release our left palm, and as you reach the right hand over, place that behind your head and turn your rib cage again. So rotate, spiral your belly upward, pressing your hand into the back of your skull. And then releasing your hand, let's take it behind the back. We're going to interlace our fingers on the left side. That's it, just breathing there. Taking those interlaced fingers, reach behind you again and open up your shoulders. So you're lifting your hands off your back. Try and keep your fingers interlaced and reaching as you forward fold, and maybe bring your forehead towards the earth. And as you rest your sits bones back, release your hands, reach up. Let's come back to that lateral stretch. Right hand down, left hand reaching in line with your ear. If you can, turn your belly up, place your hand behind your head. And soften your right elbow. And this time, as the left hand reaches up, we take it around to the right side. Interlace your fingers on the right side, just here in the center of your pose. Taking the interlaced fingers, open up your shoulders again. And this time, rise to the tops of the knees when you do it. Shift your quads forward. Maybe taking your head all the way back, maybe. And regardless, tuck your chin, reach your hands back up. Exhale, elbows down, and we'll make our way to a downward facing dog. So you can go ahead and just press your palms and tuck your toes and reach your hips back. And we'll breathe there for a few breaths. And then pressing from the ball of the foot, shift yourself forward to a plank pose. Try and elevate your pelvis, but keep your back and spine nice, long, and lengthened. So we want to tone, again, the abdomen. And lift your kneecaps, lift your shin bones. And then keeping your palms exactly where they are, drop down to your knees and stretch back for child's pose. Rising to the tops of the knees again, reach your hands up overhead. Bring your heels closer together. Bring your elbows down the sides. Inhale, big breath, arms reach up. Exhale, as you press your hands back, interlace your fingers. We're going to open up our shoulders again. And then as you hinge in your hips, you're going to take the top of your head towards the earth. And then roll to open up your arms. So you're rolling towards the back of your head. Make sure you're breathing deeply. And if you're on the back of your head, please roll back to your forehead and sit on your heels or your block and reach your hands up. From here, we're going to reach the palms back and resting either your fingertips or maybe your palms. Once you find that, try and draw your rib cage through that space. You can tuck your chin or elevate your chin, it's up to you. Continue to breathe, heart and sternum forward. Press firmly into your palms, so shoulders are reaching down again. And if you're flat on your palm, push up to your fingertips, and then we're going to reach forward and make our way all the way to an upward facing dog. Tucking the toes, reaching up and back for downward facing dog. As you rest your head in between your shoulders, you can move your head forward and back a few times. Try and keep the arms straight, palms pushing forward as you lengthen again through that side body. And then we'll step forward all the way to the front of the mat. And once you arrive, take a halfway gaze. Exhale, forward folding.
Pressing into your feet, rise to standing, palms together, reach up. Elbows come down the sides. As you join your palms, shift your weight to the ball of the foot. Tone your ankles and shin bones. Interlace your fingers and reach your hands up overhead. And breathe. And we'll come to modified Utkatasana from here. So as you bend your knees, you can start to sit down on your heels. Releasing your hands out to the sides. Rest your heels. Come back to standing, palms together. Look up, reach up. Forward folding, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway gaze, Ardha Uttanasana. Stepping back with your left foot, drop your left knee down. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Interlace your fingers, looking to the right side and reaching to the right side. And then making your way back to center with this, keep those interlaced fingers, but place your hands behind your head, tuck your left toes, rise to high lunge, reaching back with your left heel. Open up your heart and sternum, and then extend your arms out and wide. Taking your palms back to the earth, we're taking three-legged downward facing dog. Right leg up and back. Rotate your ankle, moving your toes. Step forward with your right foot again. Drop down to the left knee. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, elbows down the sides. Interlace your fingers. Send your interlaced fingers to the front of your mat. As you press down into your palms, elevate your left leg. Toes in towards your shin bone. And then returning your left foot back to meet the right. Round your spine, hollow out your belly. Keep pressing the interlaced fingers into the earth. Heel toe your feet a little closer. This time, as you come to modified Utkatasana, drop your knees in between your arms and then reach interlaced fingers up towards the sky. As you release your hands out, see if you can take your right hand to the earth. Carry your left arm in front of you, keeping that shoulder movement. And then gazing to the left side as you extend through the fingers and through the side body. And we'll see if we can fold forward. Take your left hand over to the left side. Right arm reaches forward in line with the ear. Maybe gazing to the right. Tone the muscles of your legs. Making your way back to center, take your knees wide, keep your feet together like you're perching, and then reach your fingers as far forward as you can. Tuck your head in between your shoulders. And we'll see if we can bring the knees back, walking the hands back towards your feet. Press your palms, come back to forward fold. Rise to standing, palms together, reach up. Exhale, elbows down. As you join your palms, let's step back with our right foot. Dropping the right knee down, reaching up overhead, interlace your fingers. Gazing to the right side and reaching to the left. And then making your way back to center. Those interlaced fingers move to the earth. Again, as you press your weight into your palms, elevate your right leg, rotate your ankle, move your toes. Right foot returns to meet left foot. Interlace fingers inside out, reach up. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, halfway gaze. Walking, stepping, or jumping back to plank pose. Exhale, lower to the earth. Upward facing dog to downward facing dog. And when you're ready, we'll take our left leg high and step it forward to the front of the mat. Making your way to high lunge, arms reach up overhead. Interlace your fingers. Place your hands behind your head, opening up your heart as you reach back with your right heel. And once your chin and gaze are elevated, take your hands up and open. And instead of stepping forward, bring your hands to the earth. Let's take three-legged downward facing dog again. Left leg up and back. Shift forward for plank. Lowering. Upward facing dog again. Back to downward facing dog. Walk your feet all the way together and breathe right there. Right leg lifts, taking three-legged downward facing dog. Step forward to the front of your mat and use your fingers to straighten your right leg. Elevate your left heel, take it over to the right side as you rise up. Forward folding and taking your fingertips or palms to the earth. Just breathing there, trying to straighten your right leg as much as possible. Carrying yourself back to a deep lunge. Arms reach up overhead. We're going to open this like warrior two, so opening up to the left side. Once your hands are out, lunge a little deeper into the right knee. And we'll take the right elbow to the knee and then carry that left arm in line with your ear for that extended side angle. As your left hand comes back down, rotate your torso forward, but keep your left heel on the right side. Tuck your left toes. Inhale, hands reach up. Right hand's gonna reach back. We're gonna try and find our heel. Left hand reaches up. If you're comfortable, you're gonna rotate that pinky towards the midline and reach back. And wherever you are, making your way back, hands come down. Release those left toes back in line as you tuck your left toes. Return to three-legged downward facing dog. So right leg elevates. And then release it to the earth. Take your vinyasa. That might be dropping to the knees and shifting forward. Otherwise, plank, lower, upward to downward facing dog. Let's take 5 full breaths. Again, crown of your head reaching forward. As you push your palms, you can lengthen through your side body. Heels are reaching back, toning through the abdomen. Slowing but lengthening your breath. And then taking your left leg high. Step forward, dropping the right knee down. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, elbows down the sides. We're gonna elevate our right heel, bring it over to the left. As you straighten your leg, reach your hands up. And forward folding again. Maybe that's fingertips, maybe that's palms. And then carefully, lunging deeply, reach your hands up overhead. Tucking your right toes. As you rise and lengthen, we're going to open to the right side. So it's like warrior two. Arms are out, straight out from your shoulders. And then lunge as much as you can into the left knee. So arms are out and we lunge. Good. Arms are straight out from your shoulders. So to the sides. Very nice. Palms are facing down. Taking the left forearm to the knee, right hand reaches down, forward and in line. Right hand down, forward and in line with the ear. Beautiful. Rotate your torso, facing forward. We're taking our left hand to the right heel as you reach up with your right hand. Maybe turn your pinky in and reach up and back. Maybe. And then returning back to the front of the mat. Realign your right toes. We're taking three-legged downward facing dog. Left leg up and back. This time, as you step forward with your left foot, elevate your right leg high. We're going to pull the right knee in towards your belly. Sweep your shin bone forward and have a seat. Hugging the left knee, keeping the uprightness of the spine. And then externally rotating the left hip. So left knee just simply reaches out to the side. Arms reach up overhead. As you forward fold, you might clasp your ankle, you might clasp your foot. Some of you might reach with your right hand and find your wrist. Regardless, remember, hinging from your hips. So not folding from the mid-back, folding from your hips. Keep the length of your spine. And then coming back to center, arms reach up. Exhale, elbows down. Taking your left heel either just above your knee or to the crease of your right hip as you release your left knee down. So you can choose. Reaching with the arms and coming back to your chosen hand variation. So again, that might be your shin bone, your ankle, maybe the side of your foot. Maybe the bind by reaching with your right hand and clasping with your left. Nice big inhale, reach your hands up overhead. We're twisting to the left side. Some of you might be able to reach your left hand around and find your foot as you take your right hand to your left knee. That might be an option for you today. And then coming back to center. If you have the bound foot, you might just keep it as you send your right heel back. I'll show you. Otherwise, you can just step back to plank pose. So maybe the right heel just moves back and you can roll forward to your palms. Stepping back to your version of downward facing dog. And then we're going to step forward with our left foot again. Dropping the right knee down. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. As we elevate our right heel, we're going to bring it over to the left side. Right hand comes down directly in front of your knee, left hand's reaching upward. You can continue to reach up towards the sky or taking the left arm in line with your ear, breathing there. And then just folding inside of your left foot, coming down to your forearms. We're pointed towards the front right corner of the mat. And as you come back to your palms, you can realign your right shin bone, sweep your left knee in front of your right, and maybe elevate to the tops of your knees. Maybe reaching your hands to the sky. Hinging in your hips, we come back. As you place your palms, you can extend your right leg back. We're moving to three-legged downward facing dog, left leg high. And then release it to the earth. Right leg high. Step forward to the front of the mat. Shift your weight to your fingers. Take your left leg to the sky. Carefully bringing your left knee in, sweeping your shin bone forward. Have a seat and hug your right knee. And when you are ready, we're taking our right knee just directly out to the side. Whether it touches the ground or not, it doesn't matter at this point. As you begin to hinge, you might clasp your ankle, your foot. If you're binding, it's your left hand reaching and your right hand grabbing. And whatever you've chosen, inhale, nice big breath, reach up. Exhale, hands are out. As we bring our right knee back up, we're going to clasp the ankle. Try and bring that either behind your knee or to the crease of your left hip. And then allowing your right knee to drop towards the earth. Again, once you hinge, you might get more rootedness there. So take your time, nice big breath, reaching up. Exhale, make your way back to forward fold. Clasping your heel, binding, maybe your shin bone. And then carefully returning with your hands. Twisting to the right side. This might be right hand reaching around to your left foot or to your right foot. And left hand on your right knee. And as you unwind, we make our way back to plank pose. Again, if you have that bound foot, you might decide to bring your left heel in, shifting to your palms, and reaching back for downward facing dog. That's up to you. Once you arrive in your downward facing dog, shift forward for plank. Drop down to the knees. Press back for child's pose. We're going to rise back up to the tops of the knees for a moment. Exhale, elbows down. Nice big inhale, hands reach up. Bringing your palms to the earth, stretch your right leg back. Bring your right knee forward. Cross in front of your left knee and maybe rising to the tops of the knees, arms reach. Hinging in your hips, bring your hands back. Right knee is forward. Right leg extends straight back. We're gonna tip ourselves over and reach to the sky with your right hand. So your right leg is elevated, toes are in towards your shin bone. It's like our Parigasana. Right foot elevated. Breathing there. Good, doing your best. Very nice. Find your breath. Beautiful. All right, right hand down, right knee in. Shift your weight to your left, to your right knee. Extend your left leg back and reach your left hand to the sky. Feel yourself reaching from the inner lining of your left leg, extending from your left hip, pressing into the earth in your right palm, lifting out of your hips. And then carefully, left hand comes down, left knee returns. Let's press back for child's pose. And then rising to tabletop, we'll do just a few rounds of cat-cow. Sink your belly and round your spine. And then once you come to a neutral spine, we're going to introduce our block. So the block is long ways, touching the right side of your mat. We're going to step the right foot on top of the block. Inhale, hands reach up overhead. And then we're going to lunge towards the right knee, opening the arms a little bit wider. Elevate your gaze. Bringing the hands down, we're going to push off the right foot until we have a nice parallel and lengthened left quad. Tuck your left toes and rise for high lunge. Feel your right foot steady on your block. As you reach your hands up overhead, we're going to bring the hands out. Give yourself a little lunge, shift, and elevate your left knee. If you need to hold your left knee today, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, just elevate. If you're comfortable elevating your left knee, balancing on your block, you might reach your arms up overhead. And maybe you're holding your knee today, that's okay. See if you can bring yourself to a tree pose. So we're going to externally rotate the left knee, placing the left foot on the right shin bone. Any expression that feels good to you with your palms together, out and open, one or both reaching to the sky. Maybe hands at heart, maybe reverse prayer. If your arms are reaching, bring your hands back together before your heart. Left knee moves forward. See if you can very carefully make your way back to high lunge. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. And then exhale, releasing your left knee down. We're going to go ahead and place the palms and reach back with our right foot, taking child's pose. You can move your block off your mat. Let's take a full vinyasa. So rounded spine to upward facing dog. Rising from your sits bones up and back to downward facing dog. Step forward with your right foot. Step forward with your left foot. Halfway gaze, forward folding, rise to standing, palms together, reach up. Exhale, elbows down, palms together, reach up, forward folding. Gaze and lengthen. Walk, step, or jump back for plank. Downward facing dog. Let's take 3 full breaths. And then carefully release into your knees. We're going to take the block to the left side of your mat. Stretch back for child's pose. And then step on your block with your left foot. Once you step on your block, arms reach up overhead. Lunging deeply into your block. Take the arms out and open, elevate your gaze. And as you reach your hands up, we lengthen the right quad. We're going to tuck the right toes. Rise for high lunge. Make sure your left foot feels steady. So pushing it into the block. You're going to give yourself a little bend of the knee. Arms out. Hands together before your heart. Elevate your right knee. Again, you might be holding your knee. That's okay. Deciding what form of expression for the arms. Maybe reaching. And carefully, as the hands come out, start to make your way to your version of tree pose, Vrikshasana. Choosing something that welcomes an openness, that invites you to breathe, that invites you to honor stillness and balance in this movement or fluidity. Know the rootedness of your left foot. Bring your right knee back. Carefully step back for high lunge. Arms reach up overhead. Exhale. Right knee down. As you release your hands back to the earth, press back. We'll take our block off the mat. Child's pose. Roll to upward facing dog. Back to downward facing dog. And then we're just going to step our feet forward and have a seat. And once you have a seat, we're going to come down to full body stretch. So arms and legs are reaching out. Bending the right knee. Reach to the inside of the knee, clasp the sides of your right foot, and stretch your leg towards the sky. And there might be a micro bend in your knee. That's okay. Just doing your best. as you release your right leg out, reach your hands up overhead. This time you're going to bend your right knee, taking peace sign fingers to your right big toe. Again, working to straighten your leg as much as you can. Left hand is going to reach out from the left shoulder, and right leg is going to move over to the right side. Try and anchor your right hip to the earth as you extend and open from the right hip. Nice big inhale. Right leg releases back to the earth. If you can, bring your foot and wrap your hands around the bottom of your left foot. Otherwise, bend your knees, interlace your fingers, and stretch your leg. Release your arms, release your leg, full body stretch. Bend your left knee, peace sign fingers to your left big toe. Stretch your left leg to the sky. Right arm out from your shoulder. Extending out to the left side, rooting through the outer edge of your left hip. Lengthening through the inner lining of the left leg. Pushing through the ball of the foot, extending from the hip socket. And then left leg comes back, and we take full body stretch. Cross your ankles, pull your knees in. Let's roll ourselves to seated. And once you roll yourself to seated, we're going to step our feet to the earth. Peace sign finger grab to your big toes. Shift your weight, balancing, and maybe extending one or both of your legs out. If you're doing one, don't worry, I'll cue you for the other side. Separate your heels, lengthening through your spine. Arms are long, shoulders are relaxed, gazing forward. If you're doing one side, try the other. If you're doing both, try and bring your heels together as you gaze forward. If you're still practicing one side, please release it and roll to your back. If you have both of your hands on your feet, bend your knees, roll to your back, and take your legs to the sky. Coming to full body stretch, bring those knees in, peace sign fingers back to your big toes or holding the sides of your knees. All right, so you choose. And if you're holding the sides of your knees, just take your ankles a little wider than your shoulders. If you're holding your big toes, you're going to continue to hold your big toes. Take your ankles wider than your hips. You can choose to stay here, or you can choose to take this to your plow pose. Please be mindful by keeping your chin elevated. Maybe taking your feet back behind your head. Maybe. Again, keep your chin elevated, keep your gaze up and only up. Feet would be reaching towards the sky, or maybe you are in your plow pose, halasana. If you are holding big toes and you are in plow, please bring your hands back to the earth. Micro bend your knees. rolling to your back. If your legs are up, please release your legs. Let's all take a full body stretch. And if you're not practicing a full wheel in your practice, back bend, full back bend, please find your block. If you are practicing full wheel and would like to, we're going to do 3 traditional back bends tonight, and we'll try our wheel on the last one so you don't have to use your block. Stepping your feet to the earth, regardless, placing your hands on the mat next to your sides, rooting into your low back. So if you have your block nearby, you can just keep it nearby. We're going to use it for the 3rd back bend. As you press your palms firmly into the earth, take your time. Make sure your big toes are slightly internally rotated, gazing forward and up and only forward and up. Lift your hips and breathe. So for some of you, as you're pushing into all 4 corners of your feet, you might walk your shoulders in. Make sure that you're lengthening through your quads. Elevate your glutes. Again, keep your chin elevated. And then releasing to your back. Make sure you root all the way into your back. Take your arms in length, stretching through the side body. And coming into our 2nd back bend. Hands come back down to the sides. Make sure your feet are aligned with each other, but your big toes are slightly in. Rooting into your low back, elevate your hips. Walk your shoulders in. See if you can interlace your fingers this time and get a little higher through the sternum. Again, chin is elevated, gaze is up and only up. If your fingers are interlaced, please release them. We're coming back down fully to the back, so no curvature. Root your back. And then reach with your arms. And breathe your breath. At this time, if you're not practicing a full wheel, I will guide you through that though. Please find your block and see if you can elevate to the 2nd level of your block. That means that your block goes up 1 elevation. You're going to make sure that you're supporting through your sacrum and low back. And if comfortable, you might even come up to the 3rd level of your block, so it would be more narrow. Most important is that you're breathing, expanding your lungs. If you're not using your block today and you want to work on your full wheel, again, make sure your feet are parallel, big toes slightly in. We're going to root fully down into the low back. Your palms would press next to the sides of your shoulders. And as you know, we keep the rootedness. First thing that happens is you move to the top of your head. And then pushing off of your palms, you elevate. Use your feet. 5 full breaths. Return is tucking your chin, coming back to your head, releasing to your back. Make sure you're rooting fully into your low back. Hands come back down. If you're still on your block, you can stay for just a few moments longer. If you have just come from full wheel, please take a full body stretch. If you are on a block, please rock your hips from side to side. And when you are ready, you can remove your block and make your way to a full body stretch. And then releasing the hands to the sides, releasing your toes out. Exhaling through the mouth. Taking comfort in that wonderful space inside. Listening to the sound and movement of your breath. And notice the aliveness, notice the rate of your heart, the pulsation of your heart. Let this moment hold Shanti, peace for your being. And if you would like to stay a little bit longer tonight, you're more than welcome to. Just resting. Otherwise, move your head. Move your fingers and move your toes. And coming back to stepping your feet to the earth and rocking your knees from side to side. And then crossing your ankles at some point and rolling up to seated. Bringing your hands together before your heart, bowing to that internal space. Thank yourself for practicing and breathing. And I thank you for sharing. Namaste.